Hello, wonderful people, and welcome to the Izwileti show right here on Sisonke Online Radio. Now, this is a platform where we talk about sex work, and as our motto says, there is nothing without us. There is nothing about us without us. We are here to make our voices as sex workers heard loud and clear, and we are here to tell our stories. Now, on today's episode, we are going to discuss the LGBTQIA plus community within the sex work industry. Now, if you remember, in our previous episodes, we've touched on, decriminalization. We've also touched on HIV and TB healthcare access. And we've also talked about the effects of COVID. But we think it's very important to look at the different people that are in the sex work industry because not all sex workers look the same. Of course, like anybody else, there are different people and there are different experiences that we have out there. And for today's episode, we have two wonderful, wonderful guests. Our first guest is Moesi. He is a sex worker from the Northwest. He's also part of the steering committee in Rustenburg, and he's representing sex workers in the Northwest. And secondly, we have Udirile. He is also a sex worker from the Northwest and a steering committee member in Rustenburg. And he is also representing and advocating for sex workers in the Northwest. Moesi and Udirile, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Hi, you.
Thank you so much for making the time to be with us today. All right, so just as a bit of an icebreaker, because I want our viewers and our listeners to just know a little bit more about you before we talk about what you've experienced. So I'd like to start with Moesi. So Moesi, can you please tell us, so just introduce yourself. So what is your name? Where are you from? And also, what is the best thing about being you?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Moesi Baneje. I'm from Northwest Province in Rustenburg in Bojanala district. I'm a student commit for Sisonke for more than 3 years, and I'm a transgender sex worker. So my role is to encourage people to join Sisonke so that they can know their right and their responsibility, starting from the police station until to the Department of Police Station in the clinic. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Mercy. All right, and then Udirile, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ujiri Mutuku. I'm 32 years old. I'm also steering committee of Sisonke, the movement of sex workers. And also, I'm studying with Nakosa, doing a part-time training with them for HIV and AIDS prevention. Now I'm doing my practical. There's a small organization called the HIV. I'm also a sex worker. I'm fighting for the rights of the sex workers all around the world. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get into our first question here. So I'd like to know from both of you, what was your experience like growing up? So in your childhood when you realize that you are gay, you are trans, how was that experience for you growing up?
It was too difficult. From my side, starting from school, it was too difficult because there were more discrimination and stigma because they say that you are a guy. Why are you wearing this thing? We tell mosadi always say patleng, you see. So I thought maybe hare tlantse batho ba ntse ba ruta batho ka di-sex ka di-gay le gore sex working, because sometimes how tsena mo industry ya sex working e ka bo se itire ka boma, because mo South Africa, for an example, go mathata fela a gona mmereko. We can go to the good university mo fetsa but go nna thata gore o feletse o kry mmereko. So go thata tlare because le kwa di-clinicing ga o tsena maybe gore o na le di-STI, they say that a ke re lo re mosadi o na le STI for kae. You see, ga o tsena ko police station o re bula a case, they say that wena o ka rapiwa o le monna o itira mosadi. So stigma and discrimination towards rona di-sex workers tsa di-gay se sentsi thata, especially mo di-rural area because they don't understand anything about gays, you see. So ke yone bothata bo leng teng side-eng ya rena.
And Udile, what about you? What's your experience like, Jay, growing up and now also as an adult?
See, from my point of view, like my upbringing, my background, I didn't have so much challenges as such because of the community that I grew up in. They were so much very supporting. They knew like what was going on about my because of most of the time soccer like other guys, so they could see like so like well wholly the background like family anything for another someone else was starting is nothing when I put that down because of already background so motho a go tseleng ene a ka se kry anything gore antanishe and discourage or something ne dira anything because of like the community feels they accept that ke dire go leng ka teng. So like for now I wouldn't say for batho ba bang ba ngata mara for me ke feel like ke ne ke I was lucky enough like so for gore ka nna le family ya me ke yone ke leng ko yone gore ba kgone go accepta the ke leng ka teng. They could tell from the young age gore ke tsebe go leng ka teng. So other than that like for me ke bua ntshena go like ga se yone as such. Yes, ko sekolong there were those challenges in marriage ba bangwe and the teachers there they could see what was going on ka nna, so they were there for me most of the time. That is why ke feel like not to me I didn't ga experience ntho tse ding tse sa go bo bullying sa ba bullying the bullying go sekolong. I never experienced them. Yeah.
Sure. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I think this also shows Uguti how important it is for the community to support, abantwana that we raise. As that saying goes, Uguti, it takes a village to raise a child. It's not just, parents zako, it's, the community, it's the teachers, it's the other adults, in the community. And it's so important in a child as they grow up for them to know that kind of support. So I'm very interested in how the culture, like our different cultures as Black people, how does that affect our treat or the community and society's treatment of gay, lesbian, or trans people?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the culture is so hating because sometimes why you are gay because we gay ba tsalelwa, to be honest with you. I'm gay. No. Gay is something like a calling. So how good culture they force you to do the different. For an example, to the medical circumcision go thabeng. Ga o tswa ko teng e tla ba gona ba re o monna tia e tla bo o ratana le basetsana mare di-feelings di se teng because o kgotsofatsa the family, you see.
Yeah, like it's yeah. I think yes, like cultural, like
Yes.
customs and shit. Yeah.
So hello.
Hi. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, for an example, I get why to rokola mo cultures is different. E ka tswa e le Batswana, Basotho, Bazulu, Mavenda, Machangane, and everything, you know. So the problem e le gore ke teng ke gore we respect cultures, and sometimes you don't want gore family ya gago e lose hope mo go ene because of bad ways gore go dirwang go culture tseo. So this thing e encourage batho ba bantsi gore ba ne o le gay o bona a father o nna le family, so you have to respect your family like gore at least ba ska go nyenyefatsa because of the way o leng ka teng. But if maybe go tla na le organization e le gore e ruta our communities about gays, maybe it will be better for our country. Because for an example, like now yana Sisonke harira the door to door, maybe sometimes harira re tsamaya re ruta batho ka Sisonke ra ba tlhalosetsa gore gay ke eng, ke mo le gore ba gaina di experience ba kgona go tlhaloganya gore what's going on ka gay and everything.
Mwesi, sorry for that night. Like I have to agree and disagree at the same time for that
Yes,
one.
girl.
Once you start saying for like the community or teach, yes, you can go out there to the community and teach them what is a gay, culture, what gay is thing in very too much ignorant. He's not willing to listen to you. Because because we choose to ignorant. But LGBTIQ is doing there. And still they know who they choose to be ignorant. They know that it's there. So there's nothing to teach people. To get them about ignorant is something similar to a sex work. But it is also so like when you say like you go out there teach people like the LGBTI, know people know about the LGBTI, they choose to ignore it. They say like that other one, like I don't believe like going out there teaching people about the LGBTI, they know that we are already gays and around we've been there. So that one totally I agree, like I agree, but at the same time, he feel like choose ignorant or no, I don't know those people have. Yes, but how the case, hey, would go whatever, hey, no. It's a local thing, and yes, the gays are there, highly deleting. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for raising that, because yes, it shows us stigma and discrimination, it's a choice.
Yeah.
Yes, as you said, because the same way you can choose to accept Umdu, you can choose to say, you know what, this is a person who's part of our community, let's accept this person. And then kuko other people that make the other choice. They choose, to discriminate, they choose to hate. And unfortunately, sometimes they choose to become violent as well. And we've seen so many reports of, a hate crime happening in our communities.
And
So,
it's similar to
yeah.
like when you come to other communities, you can go like, look at me, yes, I'm not dressing any dresses or anything, I'm just dressing like a proper dude, but they see that and they know that I'm gay. But the funny part is the very same person who's throwing the names, funny remarks, during the night is the one who's going to come and propose or make a move on me. But during the day, no. Hey, hey, what, Mari, come the night time. No, I'm not a stubborn anymore. I'm someone who he wants to sleep with. Exactly, that's why they're like, when hello similar or a gay, what. Needless to say, the motto, no, I know that when I hidden agenda. Because of what freely and then so I'm being passing by come crowd or wine like a corner in a hole.
Exactly. And most of the people most of the people ba re jaja ba fa maina gore di gay re bo so music re bo mamang ke bone the people ba le gore ba ke bone di-customers tsa rona tota because during the night ke ma after 9 during the night they can just tell you you are so beautiful. Kwetse keng a ka go botsa ka the way le monate ka teng, the way le nice ka teng, you see.
And then during the day, uthetha something completely different.
Yes, you're a dog. You know,
Yes.
you're a dog. You are nothing. Like you are like they don't want to hear anything about you. But during the night, oh my God, huh? You don't understand. It's happening.
Yeah, see, people will surprise you, honestly, Jay. Like it's just it's a really, really funny thing to think about. So what about into religion? Because a lot of people, they will say, no, being gay, or being trans, being lesbian, it's wrong because God doesn't want it, the Bible doesn't allow it. Other pastors will preach it, in the church. So yes, yeah.
The funny part is, that one I've been waiting for that. Because when it comes to religion, once like I think like my pastor was born, and me personally, if I got this motto, one, how do I get again or motto anybody else is wasn't that you or Mudi again? Question one, and now when Umudim, Ukiwa Mona Mudim. On Jaja whenever Nelekopana lane after Samudis is. So long as now and how travel get something Utramad, Ushida pin like me, Hawin Jaji, Hagu Hutri, Go Jaju, I came Mudim, when I Umutuyak and Nasel. The disciple carry maybe a pastor in the church, other change church, go elsewhere, go feel I'm going to is safe. That's me.
Now I believe that because I think I get it every time, every Sunday, and and they accept my money. Santa I'm a gay, somebody I'm a trans gay, somebody I'm a sex worker. And the money that I pay is the money that I do for sex working bag. You see? So Santa for the introduction, sex working, people they think maybe we are prostitutes because no. It's whereby we have contract, we have prepaid, and we have everywhere you go. It's either about but we are doing the same job. You don't understand that. And if you say two or 25 or 30 and they give you money during the month, about anything. So you are doing sex working. You understand? It doesn't mean you do sex working, you have to go there to the street and most of the people at the church, we are all sex workers. They don't understand. And they do sex working. Even learning sex working because of what? Now hallelujah, hallelujah, amen, amen. But after the hours after a church, one Peter, sorry, I take the Bible to the car. To calling because why we are doing the same job.
Sisonke la. Yes. Because yes, I really love Guti. You're highlighting the fact that like first of all, abantu they hide themselves, ne? Mara abanye abantu they don't really see the reality of what's going on. Bona babona nje this, like they live in this little box nje yabo. Andy, the truth is, it's a lot more complicated than that. And there are things about even Abantu that you think you know. There are things that you don't know about them. As there are parts that they hide, they hide away and it only comes out at a certain time. So you can never say what you know a person. So as confirm actually.
Next. Next.
Never. Never.
Next. Okay.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. And I think a lot of people, you've given them a lot of things to think about. So manje they're gonna look at themselves and also abanye abantu to say, hey, yazi, is it possible, mhlambi? And it makes I hope it makes them to look at themselves differently, Yeah, thank you. Yes.
But if you can respect yourself, it means you can respect others. But if you don't care about yourself, you will do the same to others. So that's why
Exactly.
if I'm going to shop right, I can wear a mini skirt. But hey, no, it's me. You see?
Yes.
So sometimes we
Yes.
put on how on those jaja, but are different. When for guy.
Exactly. And also the fact that you are living your life freely.
But now I have this problem, to be honest. How are the clinic into the clinics? I know for a yes. Na le gore o kopane le batho ba le gore ba sharp le ba seng sharp ke go tlamehile control because we over that truth, I guess. But most of the clinics are on, they still have more discrimination and stigma. Because if I go there, maybe I'm HIV positive, and if I test positive, they will start to judge me. They don't know what I intend blood or sexy or anything. They don't know nothing. But they say that the kids on HIV, the sex worker, and almost the sex worker HIV. Okay. You don't know nothing.
Mercy. I'm not debating, but at some point, like, paintbrush or one, paint all the people in the health department.
Yes.
It's not like that. We may be working in the health department about certain code, not all of them. Because I generalize. And like they would do that. If you like from the rural areas, those are the ones where like most of the time they want to be based in the rural areas, like background that thing because of how people are there. In the townships, like when I don't think such things get a lately because they know the gays are there. And the point yes, the gays are the most one like positive, yes. Because penetration level usually yes is just in the inners, and the inners is very, very, very fragile. Once the penetration is a good thing, it cracks. Automatically when it cracks, blood yes, the Siemens enters. It's still positive. Yes, sometimes the concept with the sonor, yes, even though you get it elsewhere, but automatically you are a gay person. Once I got yes, auto tester, what does the auto tester? It's also feed us honest to go to. I don't know that because we are willing for what to learn to kill off his mara khone so le yes ke re le motho ga ka sa condom ga ka anything mara ke batho ka so re ke tlhabile ke botlolo e be go khoma mang o le gore o positive e be nna go no that thing go ba le rona some point re ya gore ga re win and le rena la go like the LGBT idea dying each and every day. Why? Bakana go the facilities that are healthcare because they feel like most of the time ba na go be go judge you go teng go etsa gala. Yes, that one is the Halamar. It's in Fokotel. Habota saying it's going to pin brachi, rab, pin Tamatoma, and the guy is the wheeling cutting. It's not like that. That one will go Hanala that one because of no. It's not like that.
Yeah.
Because then rural areas. Because rural areas, they get spots and they teach during the day.
But Yazi, it's thank you for raising that, Udidile Uguti. We can't really paint everybody with the same brush, ne? But I think if we think about if somebody experiences discrimination and stigma for years, mhlawumbe their experience, they've experienced a lot of stigma, lots of discrimination for years from abantu basekliniki, then eventually they don't trust, nurses and abantu abasebenza emaklinik, because you look at your past experience and you're like, as I've always been comments that nurses would have, they would always try to shame me in front of other patients. So why should I trust them?
Yes, it's true.
Like we the Muslim, we have this support group we are doing with the CPC. In that small group, what we are doing, we are meeting once in a month. So we are trying to get as many gays as possible to speak most about what the challenge we are facing on daily basis, how to handle the situation in the clinic, how to handle whatever I'm experiencing at the tuck shop or the supermarket. That's the challenge that we are facing on daily basis. So like every time what we are doing, like we raise up those issues. Guys in Casa, my helicopter rank, what taxi driver, who are made 1, 2, 3, or what time. No, I did 1, 2, 3. But I'm going to maybe over like this. Like the way I cannot be because of other only one, now maybe like clinic, maybe now like I said, yes, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clinic. He will need a friendly face. No one knows saying, we show again, that's why I guess from a clinic or free attitude, better attitude, because the necessary like about at the end of the day. Or similar, okay, never have under pressure, but what is more casualty in lane over what pressure and the pressure is there. So none of like I said, won't get in a second last week, our Kulubusa, Ampa, Lina, last week to go. So now I tell another attitude on attitude lane automatically. And one of us allow saying over the whole day, one another was 6 or a period and a way. So like I wonder like some point, Harakan is the signal as a created LGBTI married. I those people are going to come back. The Colosseum is like that. You look at discriminate the wheel market. I don't know no nice.
Okay.
I'm game. I got to very drama at some point. Like this thing is escalator or a stigma or discriminating. Let something.
What really? Most of the people, yes, by discrimination because by I'm a gay. They don't care about respect or society. Yes, we know manese
Aside.
Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, it's fine. O dirile ke ga kae wena fela yana o tsena go tleliniking o tswa le sharp fela maybe ga o le tleliniking. Sometimes o ga o tle o le sharp and o ba feeling is the attitude o ba feel respect.
No, Mercy, the facility that I'm using, I said because they know me, different guys and I would go but I have Bogobon. So how do all the health facilities be like that. They are not like that. That's one the point. All of the clinics are like that. No.
No, we are not saying the whole clinic didn't say because when I go ujula poteng and go soft go leng poteng ne. So hari to gore motho o leng go tlhabane kgotsa o motho go tlhabane kgotsa o go read flay. How do you feel yang? Because when o bua ka wena because sa ntlha o tletse batho ba go clinicing sa bobedi ba batho ba le gore ba go bua pele ka se believe.
Lona go to go down of that attitude. It doesn't mean to have center go become attitude. No. So what go there? O se ke wa batla gore for go to like that. I didn't otherwise.
Okay, okay, let me do something. This thing is some of the clinics. We are not the gates because lesbian or the gates because of what? The other sides. The other sides. And I have to
That's what we agreed on. Because let's agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree. We cannot like the phrase says let's agree to disagree. I'm not things like this. I don't do let's get I don't skip a forward because they already debated the whole day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, so I think Yazi, I think Yazi, the important thing, and Yazi, these things, it happens with any sort of discussion or debates that you have with someone. But I think the important thing is that it's okay to have different opinions. Like, isn't they aren't always the same. It's not always black and white. There are some places where there are gray areas where it's not just one thing or the other thing. And of course, I'm experience with too as funny, but it doesn't mean your experience is not valid. So your experience, in Amakliniiki, it's valid,
Yes.
So with your experience, you can show you know what, it's not always what you think. It's not, you don't always experience discrimination from all healthcare workers. That one is valid as well. And on the other side, with Muesi, we have to highlight Uguti, this is still a problem that happens in some clinics, where it doesn't matter if you respect them or anything, they will still treat you like like that. But it's we're not painting all healthcare workers in that way, because that's we also need to show Uguti, these, like, the treatments is not the same, but you can't think that all experiences are the same, and so and that's just how it is. It's unfortunate, Uguti, some people do have to experience like discrimination and stigma and being ashamed, but we also need to show Uguti it's possible for healthcare workers to do better. We've seen it. It's possible for them to do it. But again, it goes back to it goes back to each choice, So, the people in healthcare facilities, Abantu in SAPS, they can choose. They can choose to treat everybody with respect. They can choose to treat everybody fairly. And some of them, they choose not to. Some of them choose to do that. Other people choose to not do that. And yeah, that's just how people are really at the end of the day. All right, so in our next section, we're just going to take a short break, and in our next section, we're going to talk specifically about sex work now, and experiences being gay and trans or lesbian in the sex work industry. I think there are some things that both of you have touched on. And what I really want us to do is just to unpack those things. So that's going to be in our next section after this short break.
heard. Nothing about us without us. Sex work is real work. End criminalization of sex work. Recognize and respond. Sex workers' rights are human rights. By protecting our human rights, you are protecting our health and our clients. You are listening to Is Relate on Sisonke Online Radio. Let's come together and make our voices heard. Nothing about us without us. Sex work is real work. End criminalization of sex work. Recognize and respond. Sex workers' rights are human rights. By protecting our human rights, you are protecting our health and our clients. You are listening to Is Relate on Sisonke Online Radio. Let's come together and make our voices heard. Nothing about us without us. Sex work is real work. End criminalization of sex work. Recognize and respond. Sex workers' rights are human rights. By protecting our human rights, you are protecting our health and our clients. You are listening to Is Relate on Sisonke Online Radio. Let's come together and make our voices heard. Nothing about us without us. Sex work is real work. End criminalization of sex work. Recognize and respond. Sex workers' rights are human rights. By protecting our human rights, you are protecting our health and our clients. You are listening to Is Relate on Sisonke Online Radio. Let's come together and make our voices heard. Nothing about us without us. Sex work is real work. End criminalization of sex work. Recognize and respond. Sex workers' rights are human rights. By protecting our human rights, you are protecting our health and our clients. You are listening to Is Relate on Sisonke Online Radio. Let's come together and make our voices heard. Nothing about us without us. Sex work is real work.
Okay, hi everyone. Okay, sorry about that. So you are back
Hello.
on the Is Relate 2. You are back on the Is Relate 2 show on Sisonke Online Radio. So as I said earlier, now we are going to talk about
and make our
our
voice
experiences.
Nothing about us without us.
Okay, sorry about that. Just a bit of technical difficulties, but we are back. All right, and so now we are going to get into our experiences as gay and trans sex workers, right? So what has sex worker in the industry? So I would like to start with Udirile. So Udirile, what has your experience been like?
Repeat that question again if you are breaking up.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay. So what has your experience been like as a gay sex worker?
My experience, like, really, to be honest with you, like, most of the time, like, I didn't know that I was doing sex work in the beginning, because of, like, most of the people, like, like, so I get really out with friends, hook up with some guys, like, no, like, so, like, one of my friends that told me, like, always when I was a man, ga go fe mavuso wa itse mavuso ke re re ntse go tse mavuso wa mavuso ya thobi go a tshwana wa tla ko wena ke hit and run go tshwana go bontse motho wa tshwana wa ema fela go strateng le ena fela mo khoneng le gore yang so ever since like ke started gore like go ra go sante ke batle mavuso le nna mo tse re tsaya motla kera maybe nna ke tswa go ga ke na tšhelete ke na selo e bile go mara go a tshwana ke etsa sex work at some point mo ntshekela 6 bias o 2 bias be ke tswa ke tsamaya ke kere selo so rata gore ka nne ka ere gore bone ba na le tšhelete motho e be ke fetsa ke bore nike ntse ke tsamaye ke lo explore mara what I do ebile from there ke re stata go like okay hook up ka mo tabeneng stata ke yang ka internet even now like ke bereka via body grinder go badu ke go hook up teng that's my hotspot experience am sharp like the money e ke etsang ke yone kgone gore me thuse le gona no gore tletse go gone ile on the introduction I end up saying go like ke feel gore ke gone le short courses ke gone gore ke something ka life because the money that I'm making is good ka etsa ke side hustle ya in the meantime I study part time ka side hustling that's why now the business slowly because of the COVID even though like every day for now the kind of work like it's via internet e mo safer than gore ke be ke ya magotseleng wa bona botsele like police ba ta ba le tlhokomeza ba whatever so to me like the way I get some things much safer to me kanta gore ke hook up once ke logile in the person wa bua go kae the location we meet up with the person he's a businessman with my clients simple and most of my clients got to like but descriptive they don't want to be known for by that what kind of work is
All right. So at least I like that you also highlighted Uguti, the internet is also as a platform that we can use, you know, to push your business. Thank you so much, Udirile. And Muesi, on your side, what has your experience been like?
My experience ke gore to be honest with you, ne, most of the time then I use a grinder. Yes. So ga ke kgone go kry the experience tse dintsi because ba founa location ba nthola ka ko teng ba mpha tšhelete ka boa. Most of the time I get a steering committee, but tse ke di bonang around our area ke gore sometimes ga ba biditse mo ba kgona go betsa batho, some of the gay because ba nagana gore ke banyana, sometimes ba kgona go tsa advantage ya gore because ke gay ga ke go mo patela ke go mo robala ka tla go montshetsa gore ke mosimane, you see. So ke di experience le gore some of my friends ba kopane le tsone. So now from my side ke gore to be honest mo Rustenburg especially during the night ne a go safe because go tlhokega security, meaning ha ke security ke ra gore like bo gore motho a itlhokomele wa bona because sometimes the apollo lights the off and wa itse gore na di sex worker ka we dark areas like so sometimes ba kgona go kry-a mathata ko teng ko. Yes, but anyway I cannot mathata bote, my darling.
Yeah, and I guess for the both of you in your experience as steering committee, you guys hear a lot of different stories. We would see like some of the experiences that other sex workers go through. And it sounds like working on the internet, it's more convenient and it's much safer. But you know, unfortunately, not everybody has that opportunity to work in that environment. We still find, you know, a lot of us are working, you know, as you said, Muesi, they're working, you know, in those dark areas, and the safety, you know, safety is a huge concern. And I think also as sex workers coming together as a community to support each other, I think that would be really important. But I do want to know from the both of you, is there enough support within the industry? Do you think we sex workers support each other enough, in your opinion?
You are going ahead or let me go ahead. You want to start this one or you see me?
Okay. To be honest, support your hiding because I agree we have different people by the sex worker around our areas. Like for an example, we have foreigners, we have people by the South Africa by the. So sometimes about those people by the South Africa by the pass ba kgona go tsaya advantage because of ke dirisa all o dirisa passport o na I'm using ID. So ke tsone challenges tse re nang le tsone through sex working programs around our areas.
Yeah.
And ke eda mo yona point ya gago Moesine ntho e be o tla kgona usually especially bona ba ba bereka mo di brothel in ka di group gore ba ka di race gore okay the Zimbabwean stays there but the Sotho stay there in e be started na feud mo bone amongst bone gololang mo di clients. So ke yone ke ntho e le gore gantsi bone ga ba supportane self gore gore ba le ba nang le jealous gore ba le beira tšhelete ba lwa e be like the like yeah we listile earlier on gore the internet is much safer because of motho o go ra gore e nna client ya gago personally o itse ke motho wa gago even though o ya ko mare ko wena o itse ga go batla o kry-a ko kae leng yang le change di numbers o kgone go latela wherever go leng teng o busy teng. So ya mo tseleng mo ya teng because of at the end of the day some of bone ba bang bao ba le gore go na le bana gore ba tlwaelane ba betsana le gona maphodisa ao go fetsa gore ba bang ba le batlegelwa ke ko phodisa a tla kgone go ba gometse banyana eng go fa motho ba fa bona bona ke fo ba shoya o ka re ba supporta mari truly speaking bone and like they don't, especially bona ba bereka mo di brothel ga ba ratane, there's no love among them. Yeah.
And so Marada, if there was Leo support, between sex workers, I think that would make things a lot safer for everybody. But I think as you both have mentioned, Wuti, there's the issue of um competing for clients. So you also have to think of income yako, at the end of the day. And sometimes abantu, they become very, they want to defend and protect themselves. And sometimes, in order to protect
Yeah.
yourself like that, sometimes it comes across as being cruel to somebody else, or all in the name of protecting yourself. So Nayo, it's a bit of a complicated issue, because you can't say, no, the sex workers are bad because they don't support each other and stuff. It's a lot more complicated than that. All right, and then what about, so we have talked about healthcare workers and getting access to HIV treatments, STI treatments. What about amapolisa, the SAPS? Because that's always been a problem in terms of how amapolisa treats all sex workers.
Um, from my side, ne, mapodisi ne ba ga ba sharp because sometimes most of them ke di clients tsa rena ne, because of they know gore ke monate go le kae, they don't want to gore the other guys ba utlwe gore how ke tshwere eng, ke rekisa ntho e feng, because they know it, so ba jealous first of all. And sometimes they are go boletse gore ba bangwe ba re jaja, especially bomme, because mo Rustenburg no ga taba gore mapodisi ba tle go go bone ba ba itlhela o ntse o le mo businessing ba tsaya tšhelete ya gago. So rona re di-ATM tsa mapodisi na di-sex worker, because if ba itse gore ga gona any cases ke go le gore re target ke di-sex worker. So now I think maybe mapodisi ba tlhoka gore go nne serious ka bone, ba tsebe kgatelopele, because ba tsaya advantage of rona, because ke rona target ya bone, ATM and everything. How much there any way to go? They are going to the brothels.
Mm, mm. So it's
And
not
sometimes
even about,
when maybe
yeah.
yes, sometimes how did the event, maybe the awareness event, maybe how to know your rights, really event that thing. We can invite them. No one, Lale 01, a single police came to our event. We don't know why, because we are sex workers. So discrimination law is started for. And sometimes the sex workers say when if ba na le ntwena ba krile ba na le accident maybe, or ba khatile, or someone violate their rights, they are free to go to the police station, because of what? Ba lose hope mo go bone. Yes. Sometimes what go etsagang e nna taba gore ke raipilwe. So because of the stigma se se go police station, and ke go bolela se stigma fela le yone discrimination, because ke a go tshaba e tla ke feta bona go o apere yang o mmone ke le kgosha o etsang ka different names. So ke stigma to our mo go rona, me and my sisters wa bona.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
this thing is not I sharp. Yes.
Adding on what Moise is saying, at some point, like maphodisa le bone at the same time, yes, bone ba phela, yeah, ba phela on the wrong side. E be re ya go gore yanong ke tsa ke ipaya as a member of the steering committee ne re kgona go attenda cases tsa bone le banyana le bone at some point, our sisters le bone, like our SWs le bone ga ba sharp le bone na go engwe o kgona re o ye wa attend the case ya yone motho ile ne NSW like that. At the end of the day, halike na uri glaya sharp after ba mo thusa maybe ba mulela case jigijika gaura or maybe wa tlola tsa motho gore le boele back to gore khone itse o ya leng go court o tsolotse case. Why? You don't know I was threatening ba mo threatening gore tsola case or something or yang. So like ga ena khone tsola case, what about those sisters when they experience something like seriously ba violate on a serious note ba itse gore mama we violate also bula case, also lose a case. Le one at the end of the day, ba fetsa ba lose hope of how tshwana ke lawyer, gore gore o le maybe go mo file something or khutila tshole e. So ba lose the hope. Even na gore no, re le ra re na di steering committee di tla di khapa gore re khona police station, re khona re access help whatever. Mare ga o tsaya wa tsana go ya ga go thusa motho, a re go khona gore if wa palwa le police la tshwarisa go IP. Ke motho le ene because ga re go validate rights tsa go khona mo tshwarisa go IP. Wa dumela, you never know gore after when us no tsamaya o kopana le ene ga bo bamba ntho le police le mo tseleng. After ba decide otherwise gore no, wena se ka tshwarisa ga se tlole ke go etsa like that. Ba bangwe self ba ema mo tseleng ba kgone go okay go khoneng so go dira tšhelete too much go teng ga go dira tšhelete go khoneng so the very same bona SW tse dintseo di batlela ba na le ditšhomitse ba na di boyfriend di tla tsa maphodisa ke yang go khoneng so lo tsela bo so ba le tšhelete because go teng business is booming ka for na ga go berekege ba romela di boyfriend tsa bona tsa maphodisa go teng. So like wa bona gore and le di SW di na le that problem ya gore ba utswa wa bona go utswa gape you never steal from a client ga o utswa a utsweditse client ya mo shapa ga o tsena go police station client mo shapile o shapetseng o nkile tšhelete tsa client wa bona gore gape le bone ba ba maphelo wa bone mo risking at some point e ntse e le gore ga tsena go police station tla ka re gentsa le police le mareng no ke le go ebile bona mo re bokana a batlang go nka tšhelete e mo ene mo SW so a ba sitsa se le bone at some point gore ba fokotse letsogo la bona go senya. Maphodisa one yes ba ba violated because of re na le ke tse dintsi tsa bone gore le last time re attendile the other case ya gore ba tsore ke maphodisa ba le fo ba rate mo hospitting be lo ba latlhela ko maphareng gore maphara a ba ripe ba nkile tšhelete ya bone ma gens like that ga go ba a reng re reng gore like re tseng action e se re ba gore na ke batho ba ko you see gore le bona gore ba fa this policy power ele ya gore maphodisa a fila gore a ba own because ba ba fa the power ya gore I own you I know gore ka own and ba ba itse ka maina o khone gore ke mo ketekete okay a re ge re go station commander mo ketekete o ira 1 2 3 they will never ba gore e ya because ke out of anger now ba fa mo mongela tšhelete ga boela go bone following ba re a re ge la go police station ba twat they didn't show up go ro bona if maphodisa gore ba wrong mare le bona banyana ba fa the power. Yeah, they show most of them advice guys. I think what I most of the Mundinku, Scaberga Gutsili. In a database at Lenses out, lens out in numbers are how, you see? Yeah, I think we're like that. It's over safer to them. Because the river area on Musical internet, I'm looking on the internet similar. I don't go to the client, I can tell all my smoke space in Saga, in my place, Abitar, obviously has that unconnect, I'll show or only exact amount to do Malanica everything through the phone. Hakuna Bohorma, Takatunga Cheltea can know.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Looking at the time, Angie, we have we've reached our hour, but this has been such an amazing conversation. And we are going to continue talking about gay, lesbian, and trans people in our next episode, because as you can see, one episode is not enough.
Not enough.
There are so many things. There's so much that we need to unpack, and it's very important. I think having these discussions, giving ourselves this time, it's really important. I think not only for for our fellow sex workers, but I think for society in general. They need to understand what the industry is like, and they need to hear it from us. They can't hear it from from a third person who doesn't know what it's like. We are the ones that need to educate people. All right. So again, a special thank you to Udirile and to Muesi. Thank you so much. It was an eye-opening episode today. Thank you so much. All right. I hope that you both keep safe. You are both such wonderful and bright personalities. Today has been an amazing time. Thank you so much. And to our viewers on the Izvileti Radio Show, thank you for joining us. And we are going to see you again on our next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Invite us again.
Yes, I will. I definitely will.
You are listening to Ease Lead on Sisonke Online Radio. Let's come together and make our voices heard. Nothing about us